The massive underground bunker complex hummed with renewed activity after 800 millennia of silence. Deep beneath Earth's weathered crust, ancient machinery stirred to life, its quantum processors calculating the precise sequence needed to revive millions of sleeping humans. Director Park Ji-ho stood before the central control panel, his weathered hands hovering over the activation sequence. The bunker's eye assistant displayed vital signs from the 10 million hibernation pods spread throughout the facility. Each pod contained a carefully preserved human, their aging process suspended through advanced nanotechnology and quantum stasis fields. All systems are nominal. Director Park, the AI reported. Commencing mass revival sequence in 3, 2, 1. A soft blue light filled the chamber as the revival process began. The first wave of medical staff, already awakened days earlier, rushed to their stations. Among them was Dr. Kim Soo-jin, her eyes focused on the biomedical readings flooding her screens. First wave showing stable vital signs, she called out. Brain activity normal, cellular degradation within acceptable parameters. In the security center, Lieutenant Kim Dae-ri monitored the facility's external sensors. Something caught his attention. Unusual energy signatures approaching Earth's atmosphere. He magnified the reading, his heart racing as he realized what he was seeing. Director Park, we have multiple vessels entering the solar system. Configuration unknown. Definitely not human design. Above Earth's atmosphere, the Galactic Federation scout ship, Stellar Wind, cruised on its routine patrol. Captain Lee Min-soo was completing his standard report when the ship's sensors began screaming warnings. Energy readings from the supposedly dead world below spiked to impossible levels. Full stop, Lee shouted as his ship's systems went haywire. The vessel lurched, artificial gravity fluctuating as the quantum energy surge interfered with their systems. What in the 7 moons is happening down there? His science officer, Kang Ta-jun, frantically analyzed the readings. Captain, these energy signatures, they're similar to ancient records of human technology, but thousands of times more advanced. But that's impossible. Humanity went extinct over 800,000 years ago. Deep within the Federation's central headquarters, Counselor Oh Se-jin received the emergency transmission. Her normally composed features showed rare shock as she reviewed the data. The supposedly dead world of Earth was awakening, and with it, a civilization that should have been nothing more than dust in the cosmic wind. On Earth, Director Park watched as the first fully revived humans stepped from their pods. Their eyes held the wisdom of centuries, their minds enhanced by neural interfaces that had continued learning and evolving during their long sleep. Send a message to all facilities, Park commanded. Operation Phoenix is complete. Humanity has returned. Lieutenant Kim's voice cut through the celebration. Director, the alien vessels are taking up orbital positions. They're hailing us. Park straightened his uniform, a design unchanged for nearly 1 million years. Put them through. It's time to introduce ourselves to the galaxy. The massive screens in the control center flickered to life, showing Captain Lee's stunned face. 2 civilizations, separated by time and space, faced each other for the first time. This is Director Park Ji-ho of Earth's Revival Initiative, Park announced calmly. On behalf of humanity, we look forward to peaceful contact. Captain Lee struggled to maintain his composure. This is impossible. Earth has been classified as a dead world for over 800,000 years. How are you here? Park smiled. Captain, humanity never died. We simply went to sleep, allowing our technology and understanding to evolve while we waited. And now we've decided it's time to wake up. As more humans awakened across the planet, Federation ships continued to arrive in orbit. 800 millennia of isolation were ending, and humanity was ready to take its place among the stars, not as primitives to be guided, but as equals who had used time itself as a path to advancement. The galaxy would never be the same. The Federation's Grand Assembly Hall buzzed with tension as Dr. Han Yumai approached the podium. Her steps echoed through the vast chamber. where thousands of alien scientists and diplomats had gathered to witness humanity's first technological presentation. Dr. Han activated her neural interface, and holographic displays materialized around the hall. During our hibernation, she began, her voice steady, we didn't merely sleep. Our quantum AI systems continued to evolve, compute, and advance our understanding of the universe. The displays showed the progression of human computing technology, from basic quantum processors to their current neural quantum hybrid systems. Federation scientists leaned forward in their seats, their various appendages twitching with excitement or disbelief. Our computing systems no longer rely on traditional quantum bits, Dr. Han explained, manipulating the hologram to show the internal workings of their latest processors. We've developed what we call consciousness matrices, systems that exist simultaneously across multiple dimensional states. Ambassador Choi Sung-min stepped forward, carrying what looked like a small glass sphere. This containment unit, he announced, holds enough antimatter to power your entire Federation capital for a century. The sphere glowed with a soft purple light, drawing gasps from the audience. Federation Technical Advisor Kang Do-yun stood up, his scaled skin shifting colors rapidly. Impossible. The energy requirements for such containment would be. His voice trailed off as Ambassador Choi deactivated the containment field for a split second, revealing the swirling antimatter within. Kang's eyes rolled back, and he collapsed into his seat. Medical drones rushed to attend to Kang while Dr. Han continued. She brought up displays showing human achievements in genetic engineering, space-time manipulation, and consciousness transfer. Each revelation caused more shock among the assembled aliens. Our AI systems, she explained, operated at speeds that made centuries pass like minutes. While we slept, they ran billions of simulations, tested countless theories, and perfected technologies your scientists have only dreamed of. Representative Park Min-ji, leading the Federation Council, stood up abruptly. This session is suspended, she announced, her voice trembling slightly. The Council must convene immediately to discuss the implications of these revelations. But Dr. Han wasn't finished. She activated her neural interface once more, and suddenly, every piece of Federation technology in the room switched off. Panic spread through the assembly until, with another thought, she restored power to all systems. That was a demonstration of our quantum override capabilities, she said calmly. We share this not as a threat, but as proof that humanity could have chosen domination. Instead, we offer partnership. The hall fell silent. Ambassador Choi stepped forward again, this time with an olive branch, literally. The ancient Earth symbol of peace had been perfectly preserved for almost 1,000,000 years. We slept not to hide, he said, but to emerge when we were ready to join the galactic community as equals. We offer our advances freely, asking only for peaceful cooperation in return. Representative Park found her voice again. And if we refuse this cooperation? Dr. Han smiled gently. Then we will continue our own path, leaving you to wonder what other advances we might achieve in the next 1,000,000 years. The emergency council session that followed lasted 3 days. When it ended, the Federation had a new policy. Full technological integration with humanity would begin immediately. The age of human isolation was over, and with it, the galaxy's understanding of what was possible expanded beyond imagination. As Dr. Han packed up her presentation materials, she caught Ambassador Choi's eye. They both knew this was just the beginning. Humanity had many more surprises in store for their new galactic neighbors. The grand lecture hall of the Federation Cultural Center fell silent as Chief Diplomat Yoon Jae-yun took the stage. Her presence commanded attention, enhanced by the subtle glow of neural interfaces that connected every human in the room into a shared consciousness network. For nearly 1,000,000 years, she began, humanity evolved not just technologically, but philosophically. While our bodies slept, our minds explored the deepest questions of existence. The alien audience watched in fascination as she projected her thoughts directly into the hall's neural receivers. Images of human philosophical concepts flooded their minds, ideas that challenged the very foundation of Federation beliefs about consciousness, free will, and the nature of reality. Dr. Kim Ta-won stepped forward next, his neural interface pulsing with a soft blue light. What you're experiencing now is just a fraction of human group consciousness capability, he explained. During our hibernation, we developed the ability to share not just thoughts, but entire consciousness states. To demonstrate, he linked with several other humans in the room. Their combined consciousness created a shared mental space that the alien observers could partially sense through their own technology. The effect was stunning. Thousands of minds working in perfect harmony, yet maintaining their individual identities. Federation anthropologist Song Hae-nul, who had been studying human emergence, noticed an interesting trend. Young aliens from various species were gathering outside the lecture halls, wearing clothes inspired by ancient human fashion. Some had even attempted to replicate human neural interfaces with their own technology. The youth are calling it the human wave, Song reported to the Federation Council. They're particularly fascinated by humanity's ability to maintain individuality while sharing a group consciousness. It's unlike anything in our recorded history. Professor Lee Jin-woo's lectures on human history became the most attended events in Federation space. He spoke of Earth's ancient civilizations, the Great Hibernation, and the mental evolution that occurred while humanity slept. Aliens of all species crowded the halls, hungry for knowledge about these mysterious humans. We didn't just preserve our bodies, Lee explained to a packed auditorium. We preserved our art, our music, our literature, everything that makes us human. But we also transformed it, allowed it to evolve alongside our sleeping minds. To demonstrate, he shared a piece of music composed by the quantum AI during hibernation, a symphony that existed in multiple dimensions of sound, impossible to create with traditional instruments. The alien audience experienced it not just with their hearing organs, but with their entire beings. The impact on Federation society was profound. Traditional alien art began incorporating human concepts. Young aliens started forming their own consciousness-sharing groups, though their technology was still primitive compared to human capabilities. Chief Diplomat Yoon observed these changes with both pride and concern. We must be careful, she told the Human Council. Our influence is spreading faster than we anticipated. We don't want to overwhelm their societies. But it was already too late to slow the cultural exchange. Federation scientists were working frantically to understand human consciousness technology. Young aliens were learning Earth languages at an unprecedented rate. Some even requested neural interface implants, eager to experience human-style shared consciousness. As Professor Lee concluded his latest lecture, a young alien student raised an appendage. If humans could evolve this much while sleeping, it asked, what will you become now that you're awake? The question hung in the air, unanswered but profound. Humanity had emerged not just as a technological powerhouse, but as a philosophical and cultural force that was reshaping galactic society. The Federation would never be the same, and perhaps that was exactly what it needed. The marble halls of the Federation Council echoed with Councillor Ryu Sang-ho's passionate speech. His words, carefully chosen and sharply delivered, sparked murmurs of agreement among the older council members. For 10 million years, the Federation has maintained peace and order, Ryu declared, his voice carrying across the chamber. Now these humans, these sleepers, emerge from their long hibernation and presume to rewrite our laws, our technology, our very way of life. The Preservation Alliance formed quickly after that speech, drawing support from species who felt threatened by humanity's rapid integration. They represented the old guard, powerful families and ancient institutions that had controlled Federation politics for generations. Security Chief Ba Soo-jin monitored the growing tensions from her command center in the human embassy. Her neural interface processed thousands of data streams simultaneously, tracking potential threats. When the first attack came, she was ready. Anti-human saboteurs struck at midnight, using Federation stealth technology to approach the embassy. They didn't realize that human sensors had evolved far beyond Federation capabilities. Bai watched calmly as the intruders triggered the first defensive layer. Quantum fields shimmered into existence, trapping the saboteurs in temporal bubbles. Their advanced weapons, designed to bypass Federation shields, proved useless against human defenses. The entire attack force was contained without a single shot fired. Commander Im Hyunwoo arrived at the scene, his investigation team already processing data from the captured infiltrators. Their neural interfaces revealed a complex network of anti-human sentiment reaching into the highest levels of Federation government. The Preservation Alliance isn't just a political movement. I am reported to the Human Council. They're actively working to undermine our integration. The attack was meant to prove human vulnerability. Instead, it had demonstrated the opposite. News of the failed assault spread quickly through Federation space. Security footage showing the effortless defense of the embassy went viral on Federation networks, further widening the divide between human supporters and opponents. Councillor Ryu called an emergency session of his alliance. "We must act more decisively," he insisted. "Every day we delay, human influence grows stronger. Our children adopt their ways, our scientists embrace their technology. We're losing our cultural identity." But his words carried less weight now. The failed embassy attack had exposed the alliance's desperation. More moderate members began distancing themselves from Ryu's hardline stance. Security Chief Bai received a private message from a young Federation officer. It contained evidence linking Ryu to illegal weapons trafficking, supposedly intended for preserving Federation independence. She forwarded the data to Commander Im. The investigation expanded rapidly. Im's team uncovered decades of corruption hidden behind the Alliance's patriotic facade. The old guard had been manipulating Federation politics long before humanity's awakening. "They're not afraid of our technology or our philosophy," Im concluded in his report. "They're afraid of losing control. Our presence has destabilized a power structure that's existed for millions of years." As evidence of corruption became public, the Preservation Alliance began to crumble. Younger Federation members seized the opportunity to push for reforms. The old guard's resistance to human integration had ironically accelerated the very changes they feared most. Councillor Ryu made one final speech before resigning his position. "Mark my words," he warned, "this is the end of the Federation as we know it." "Perhaps," Security Chief Ba remarked to Commander Im as they watched Ryu's departure. "That's exactly what the Federation needs." The opposition had failed, but its collapse marked the beginning of an even greater transformation in Federation society. The future would belong not to those who resisted change, but to those who embraced it. In the gleaming medical bay of the Federation's central hospital, Dr. Nam Ji-hyun prepared to demonstrate humanity's latest breakthrough in biotechnology. Her hands moved gracefully over the holographic controls as she addressed the gathered Federation Medical Council. "What you're about to witness," she said, activating the nanite chamber, "is the result of 800 millennia of medical evolution." The chamber hummed to life, revealing the swirling cloud of microscopic machines that glowed with an inner light. Inside the treatment pod lay a Federation patient suffering from an incurable genetic disorder. The nanites flowed into the pod, surrounding the alien body. On the monitoring screens, Federation doctors watched in amazement as the machines began rewriting damaged DNA sequences in real time. "Our nanites don't just treat symptoms," Dr. Nam explained. "They reconstruct genetic code at its fundamental level. They can adapt to any species' biology, learning and evolving as they work." In another wing of the Federation complex, navigation expert Kwon Minho stood before a massive holographic display of the galaxy. Federation star charts, accumulated over millions of years, merged with human hyperspace calculations. "Your maps are incredibly detailed," Kwon acknowledged to his Federation colleagues. "But your hyperspace travel uses only 3 dimensions. We've discovered ways to fold space across 11 dimensions simultaneously." He demonstrated by plotting a course that seemed to bend reality itself. The journey that would take Federation ships years could be completed by human vessels in days. The Federation navigators watched in stunned silence as their understanding of space travel was transformed. Research Director Yang Yunji walked through the halls of the newly established Joint Science Academy, where human and alien scientists worked side by side. The facility represented the first true merger of Federation and human scientific knowledge. Each species has developed unique approaches to understanding the universe, Yang told a group of young researchers. By combining our methodologies, we're discovering principles that neither civilization could have found alone. In one laboratory, human quantum computers interfaced with Federation biotechnology, creating hybrid systems that exceeded the capabilities of either design. Another team combined human consciousness-sharing technology with Federation energy manipulation, producing results that defied conventional physics. Dr. Nam's medical breakthroughs continued to spread across Federation space. Diseases thought incurable yielded to human nanotechnology. Federation doctors learned to integrate their traditional healing arts with human biological engineering, creating entirely new fields of medicine. Quan's navigation team revolutionized Federation space travel. Human hyperspace theory, combined with Federation star charts, opened up previously unreachable regions of the galaxy. Trade routes that once took months to traverse could now be completed in hours. At the Academy, Director Yang fostered an environment of unlimited scientific exchange. Human and Federation researchers shared not just knowledge but ways of thinking. The results were extraordinary. New technologies emerged almost daily, each more revolutionary than the last. The knowledge exchange transformed both civilizations. Federation society began incorporating human neural interfaces, while humans adopted Federation environmental adaptation techniques. The boundaries between the two cultures started to blur. We're not just sharing technology, Dr. Nam observed during a joint medical conference. We're creating something entirely new, a fusion of human and Federation achievement that's greater than the sum of its parts. As the exchange of knowledge deepened, both civilizations realized an essential truth. Their differences had made them stronger together than either could have been alone. The galaxy was entering a new age of discovery, powered by the combined wisdom of two great civilizations. The future, it seemed, would be written not by humans or Federation species alone, but by both working in harmony. And that future looked brighter than either civilization had imagined possible. The Deep Space Monitoring Station erupted into chaos as Officer Joe Hyen-Siak stared at his sensor readings in disbelief. The quantum detection array was showing something impossible, a massive distortion in space-time, heading directly toward Federation space. This can't be right, he muttered, running diagnostics. But each check confirmed the same terrifying reality. Something was coming, something that bent the fabric of reality around it like a cosmic hurricane. Within hours, Strategic Command Center buzzed with activity. Federation protocols for cosmic threats were failing one by one. Their most advanced shields couldn't withstand the distortion's effects. Their fastest ships couldn't outrun it. Their weapons passed through it harmlessly. Commander Kim Da-hai stood before the combined Federation Human Defense Council, her neural interface projecting simulations of the approaching threat. Traditional defenses won't work, she stated flatly. We need to think differently. Dr. Lee Sunwoo, humanity's leading expert in space-time manipulation, stepped forward. His centuries of research during the Great Sleep had prepared him for this moment. The entity isn't just moving through space, he explained. It's moving through time simultaneously. That's why conventional weapons are useless. The holographic display showed the distortion's progress. Entire star systems in its path were being twisted, their very existence stretched across multiple temporal dimensions. Federation scientists watched in horror as their models predicted total galactic devastation within months. Commander Kim's plan was audacious. We can't stop it conventionally, she said, but we can redirect it. Dr. Lee's research into quantum temporal fields could create a space-time lens around our galaxy. The Federation Council erupted in argument. The energy requirements would be astronomical. The risk of failure could doom them all. But as the threat grew closer, options dwindled. Dr. Lee's team worked tirelessly, converting human stasis technology into massive temporal projectors. Federation ships, guided by human hyperspace calculations, positioned themselves at key points around the galaxy's edge. The principle is simple, Lee explained to the Defense Council. We'll create a temporal mirror, reflecting the distortion's own time-bending effects back on itself. Instead of destroying our galaxy, it will curve around us. The installation of the temporal network pushed both human and Federation technology to its limits. Commander Kim coordinated thousands of ships, each carrying a piece of the massive defense system. Officer Joe's sensors tracked the distortion's approach, counting down the hours until impact. When the entity reached the outer edge of Federation space, Dr. Lee activated the network. Space itself seemed to bend as temporal energy flowed between the projectors. The distortion hit the field and curved. For a heart-stopping moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, slowly, impossibly, the cosmic threat began to change course. Like light bending around a gravitational lens, the space-time distortion curved around the protected galaxy. The Combined Defense Council watched in awe as the threat passed harmlessly into intergalactic space. Human temporal science, combined with Federation technology and resources, had achieved what neither civilization could have done alone. Next time, Commander Kim said quietly, it might be something even bigger. We need to be ready. The crisis had proven something crucial. The galaxy's future depended on human and Federation cooperation. Together, they had faced an impossible threat and survived. But more importantly, they had discovered that their greatest strength lay in their differences, in the unique perspectives each brought to the Alliance. As Officer Joe calibrated the sensors to track the departing distortion, he couldn't help but smile. The galaxy had changed forever, and for the better. General Park Dong-hyuk stood on the bridge of the flagship New Dawn, watching as the combined Federation human fleet assembled. 10,000 ships stretched across space, their hybrid technology gleaming against the starfield. Each vessel represented the perfect fusion of human temporal science and Federation engineering. Engineer Shin Ji-min's voice came through the neural network, updating all commanders simultaneously. The hybrid drives are functioning at peak efficiency. Our temporal shields are ready. This fleet represents the most powerful force ever assembled in galactic history. The cosmic threat had returned, stronger than before. This time, it wasn't just passing through. It was actively targeting populated systems. General Park knew they had only one chance to stop it. All ships, battle formation Delta, he commanded. The fleet moved as one. Their minds linked through human consciousness technology, their ships powered by Federation energy cores modified with human quantum systems. Engineer Shin's greatest creation sat at the heart of each vessel, a hybrid temporal core that could manipulate both space and time. The technology had seemed impossible just months ago, but the crisis had accelerated development beyond all expectations. The entity appeared at the edge of their sensors, its reality warping field even more powerful than before. But this time, they were ready. General Park gave the order, and the fleet activated their temporal cores simultaneously. Space twisted around them, as thousands of ships fired temporal beams in perfect synchronization. The cosmic threat reacted, pushing back with impossible force. For a moment, reality itself seemed to hang in the balance. Then Engineer Shin's hybrid technology proved its worth. The temporal beams pierced the entity's defenses, unraveling its structure across multiple dimensions. The threat that had terrified the galaxy began to collapse in on itself. In the Federation Council chambers, Council President Moon Hye-jin watched the battle through quantum feeds. As the threat disappeared, she turned to address the assembled representatives of both humanity and Federation species. Today marks more than a victory, she declared. It marks the birth of a new order. We are no longer separate civilizations, but one united force. Her words carried across space as she unveiled the new Galactic Charter. The document represented months of careful negotiation. It established a new government structure that preserved the best of both Federation tradition and human innovation. Humanity would take its place as a founding member of the reformed Federation, equal in status to species that had been part of it for millions of years. Engineer Shin's hybrid technology became the foundation of this new society. Ships equipped with temporal cores began exploring previously unreachable parts of the galaxy. Federation worlds adopted human neural networks, while human colonies benefited from Federation environmental engineering. General Park stood with Council President Moon as she signed the charter into law. The age of isolation was truly over. Humanity had not just joined the galactic community, they had helped transform it into something greater. As the ceremony concluded, Engineer Shin activated one final piece of hybrid technology. A temporal beacon lit up the galaxy, its light visible across both space and time, a signal to any other civilizations that might be out there. The message was clear. The new Federation was ready for whatever the future might bring. The galaxy had changed forever, and for the better. The combined wisdom of humanity and the Federation had created something unprecedented, a civilization that could face any challenge, explore any frontier, and imagine possibilities that neither could have dreamed of alone.